Hi there, Leo, and welcome to your modern shaman Maria and RainbowLand here with the weekly Heartful Intuitive Astrology Report for the week that starts at the 15th of November and ends at the 19th of November 2018. I'm here in Denmark and it turned dark. I'm sorry for that. With the fire. Nature, a lake, forest that you cannot see, but you can see some of it in section 2 of the program, where we're driving through with the drone from the air and around, and seeing also an old train station. But we will start the program with the astrology card of the week and go into the week for the Leos, and then end up with the tarot card of the week for the Leos. Welcome. So astrology card of the week, let's start with that. I'm your sister sign, Aries, so we should go together well. My 10th house, my career house, is in Leo, so this what I'm doing is the Leonic performance is what I do. So we should be in a good contact. Plus I'm a Leo Aries because I'm the second decan ruled by the sun, your ruler, who is now in Scorpio. Scorpio being your 4th house, where the emotions are more in forefront. Your inner child is coming out of his room, and your foundation and your family is in focus. Card of the week, astrology card of the week for the Leos. Let's see what it is. Oh, Neptune. Sacrifice, it says. This is a beautiful card, right? The green color is very beautiful. Oh my god, I love this green. Neptune. Let's look at the chart for the week, because Neptune has a rather big role here. So while the fire is still burning, let me just show it to you, because you are the Leos. Let's get it on. So Neptune is of course in Pisces and was there since 2011. And what is Pisces for you guys? Well, it's your 8th house. And this week, let's look on this. This week, let me be sure that there's a light upon it. This week, we will have Mars conjoining Neptune. So that's interesting. From your 7th house, Mars is coming with the moon into Pisces on Thursday. So as the card wanted us to focus upon this area, then this week it's very important for you to pay attention on the following. We have Neptune at home in Pisces, Saturn at home in Capricorn, and Jupiter at home in Sagittarius. These are 4 major outer planets. Well, if we consider Saturn to be so too. Well, he's further out than the personal planets at least. And they're very strong when they're at home, but maybe even here Neptune will be the strongest because he's there for the longest time, really putting down the roots here in your 8th house of deep transformation, of deep stuff, past life stuff, karmic stuff you inherited from your parents. And in this square to Jupiter in Sag, your sister sign, 5th house, romance, children, creativity, your own business, etc. You should know and have, that there'll be a tension, because with Jupiter we always double up, triple up, quadruple up to the max with anything. And here he just wants to go on an adventure, travel, expand his mind, learn new languages, learn new stuff. And a square with Neptune in the sign of escapism, but also of God. So it's a choice, because in Pisces we have a choice. There's 2 choices, the 2 fish. You can't see it here, but some of the signs of Pisces is actually 2 fishes swimming the opposite direction, you know. So it's 2 sides. It's like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Is it this way? Is it that way? You know. So there can be some confusion about what to choose. Should you choose to escape, or should you choose to choose the highest possible spiritual road and path for yourself? That is the big question this week. How do you choose to evolve and go more towards 5D instead of 3D. 3D being linear time, 5D being synchronistic time, where we are in the flow as we are in Pisces, where we are listening for the signs, our intuitions. We also have the North Node in another water sign, the 12th house of intuition, and the Sun in Scorpio. So the water signs are rather occupied, which can lead to escapism, drinking too much, overeating, and overindulging with Jupiter activating these things, right? So, but this is a time to choose. To choose what you came here for. If you haven't already made that choice, and have to know that it's not a choice that you make and then just fulfill every Wednesday from 5 to 7 when you are joining the meditation group. No, if you choose to follow your path, the highest path of enlightenment, what you came here to do, your purpose, not mine or anyone else's, your purpose, then the only way to really choose to do that is by doing it every day in all that you do. Being in constant remembrance of your heart, your higher self, and the love around us. Because if you jump in and out, of course we do that automatically because we still have 3D jobs to do, right? But if you don't have the other thing in the back of your mind, you can fast go down a roller coaster and down into a hole. Of course, we'll do that automatically as we clean up, because this is your 8th house. You are cleaning up deep stuff, and you have the North Node in your 12th house. It's the death of many things inside of you, maybe even around you, but primarily inside of you. Often that is reflected around us as well. So, a time of purging and letting go and being in contact with your feelings. It can be a roller coaster. In the 6th house, we start out with the moon this week, where we have a lot going on. You know that in your health, daily routines, work situations, scheduling things for yourself. Monday, Tuesday, going into your partnership or your relationship house, where Mars will be for the last time after, in 2 years almost, after 4 months here, more or less off and on altogether. So much has been going on in regards to relationships in your life. So aggression and stuff like that going on, but also and energy. And they are leaving on Thursday into Pisces. As I said again, this is your 8th house. We're again dealing with the transformation for Friday and Saturday actually, primarily. And then going into Aries, your sister sign, 9th house, where you will expand your mind on Sunday. Other stuff, but I can't mention it all. So yeah, that's what's gonna go on. And then we have Mercury retrograde. That's of course very important. Mercury is the planet of communication and movement. So anything to do with communication should be backed up from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. before Saturday the 17th, where Mercury goes retrograde from the 17th until the 7th of December. 3 weeks, 3 times a year roughly. He is in retrospection, where he asks you to go more inwardly and think about stuff. Don't start new, finish up old stuff, get organized when it comes to what's going on in Sag. And Sag is your 5th house of creativity, of romantic relationships, children, your own business, career, following your heart, through expanding your mind, through opening up your belief systems towards higher realms, with Jupiter here as well, as I said before. But reconsidering this, is there something you've forgotten on the way when you were going too fast? Whenever a planet is retrograding somewhere, it's because he forgot something that he needs to underline again for you to really understand it. So he's going back. And be aware of that. This can lead to delays in traffic and stuff like that. Let me just put on some more wood on the fire. You want to see it? All right. So be aware of that, because it's also movement. So it's like means of transport, like the train, planes, cars, bicycles and stuff. And when you leave your house, so leave in good time, delays can happen wherever you go. And Venus is also moving forward in your 3rd house of communication. So you are finding new ways to communicate with people, and you realize that, and it's in your relationships and resource-wise, your habits and how you value your words, maybe in a new way. of communicating also with your siblings, neighbors, and stuff. And also maybe means of transport has been altered during this phase. Or will be, because she's still in a retrograde phase. Now it's the third pass until the 18th of December, from Thursday the 15th, just when Mars is also shifting signs. Venus will be moving forward. There's a grand cross between Uranus and Aries, North Node in Cancer, and Venus. I mean, almost a grand cross. Enough for me. And Venus in Libra and Pluto in Capricorn. And that means that we are talking about your 6th and your 12th house in opposition to each other with a tension of some sort. We also have the South Node, of course, up there. So more South Node than than Pluto is in this constellation. And Uranus over here in your 9th house, and Venus in your 3rd house. So this is about you communicating short distance travels versus long distance travels, broadening your mind, broadening your perspective, and also the death of some things, hidden enemies that can come up, or just hidden stuff that needs to die and end in your life, which will benefit your health and be in contrast if you don't to your health situation, if you don't remove it. So some tensions here will be going on. You can feel what it is exactly in your own life. But it will come a little bit up to the surface and need to be dealt with more or less evidently, depending on your situation. Yeah. But definitely, we are focusing upon your romantic situation, your romantic partner, your creativity projects, and how you're dealing with them, creative projects, and new ways of understanding how to do it. So let's take the tarot card of the week. Again, as I said, it can have something to do with if you have your own business of some kind as well. But introversion, because it's probably gonna also be there. But how did you deal with the last week and the new moon in Scorpio? Any darkness came to the forefront in your life? Because I got a lot of clients wanting new sessions because they panicked last week. And a lot of people panicked last week for several reasons. So depending on how strong you are, or how much spiritual you are, having faith in the process and being in contact, because our higher self knows that everything is just like it's supposed to be, right? We just need to clean and clear the past. The card of the week for the Leos, and then open up towards our life purpose and be in it. Sometimes the purpose is just look in your chart, look for the North Node. That's all you need to do. The North Node looks like this. You can write me and ask me, I will help you find it. Ooh, you are starting over. The Fool card. In a naive way, you choose to be the naive one, believing in the best of possibilities. Like Don Quixote, one of the most famous, De la Mancha, famous books ever written in Spanish, known all over the world. The Fool is the one who's, just happy, joyful, chose to be so, chose to be naive and believe in the goodness of other people. This is your week. Do you dare take the chance of believing in the best, and just take the chance of following your dreams, the dreams you always had, of just being how you really want, how you really thought you would be if you didn't have a negative thought and expectation. That's you next week if you dare. Don't follow trends, follow your heart. See you next week, or in part 2 of the program. Hi there, and welcome to the second half of this program. I will now describe which topics we will touch here as lightworkers on each of our individual and collective spiritual mission on this planet. So in this section, we will first talk about going from 3D to 5D, 3 dimensions to 5 dimensions, dimensional sphere. Topic 2, and these will be shortly touched. 3D time is sequential time, whereas 5D time is synchronic time. What is that? 3, section 3. When do we download and upgrade as lightworkers? And how? Energetically, and how do we feel the symptoms physically? 4. We need to learn to become our own masters. Lesson of Scorpio, which started in 2012, especially. Now we're taking the more ultimative tests. 5, section 5 is one of my favorites. The communication form of the future, telepathy. Section 6, cleaning. Not just of ourselves, but of everything. Part 7, awakening. What happens to those who do awaken and those who don't? Section 8, about choosing a certain life path or lifestyle and the consequences, responsibility of it. When self-created issues are there, only you can change them. Part 9, the 12th house collectively. Mars is entering into Pisces. What does it mean? Section 10 is the relaxation technique, where I'm guiding a relaxation that I did just after my silent retreat in a certain condition that you can get transferred to you as I do the relaxation. It's in the link below, so follow the link right after the links to the different star signs and be directly guided to this place in this video where I make a 5-minute relaxation in the condition I had right after my retreat. Welcome to section 2. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for all the responses on my silent retreat video of how you felt that these messages and downloads that I got actually were so appropriate for your life just right now, like answers for you guys. Like one of my very best friends also told me that, whoa, it was like as if I was talking directly to her. But not only her, several people came back to me and felt like they were even being charged by the same energy and upgrading through the energy of that video. I just want to say thank you for that. So, let's start. I want to start with point number 0 about the 11th of the 11th and twin flames. It was not in the teaser, but it's here as part number 0. Today it's Monday. Yesterday, Sunday, was the 11th of the 11th, and at 11 o'clock in France, they celebrated that it was 100 years ago since Armistice Day, since the truce for the First World War. But it was also a gate opener for twin flames, soulmates, and conscious relationships to take a step up, to ascend, and to have the chance to walk through certain gates and portals and opening up towards critical things, crisis, that is actually the possibility of being healed, of course. So what is a twin flame? Well, a twin flame is when the masculine and the feminine part of a soul incarnates at the same time. I am with my twin flame now. Not now, because we are in our phase of separation, which is a classical phase in this, but that's a long story. I'll make videos about that too. But when the masculine and the feminine part of the soul, when we incarnate, the first time we incarnate, the soul splits into 2. Some souls chose to incarnate simultaneously in this life. So it's when the masculine and the feminine part of a soul incarnates at the same time. And people will be like, oh, isn't this the most romantic? No, not necessarily. Yes, there is the honeymoon phase. But the second part is the separation where you mirror each other completely. You serve as each other's mirrors for all the flaws and all the karma of your parents and yourself. You get it like a mirror when you see your twin. So it's a really, really tough soul work. Of course, there's a connection you can't have with anyone else of really coming home. But at the same time, it's hard spiritual work, and we do this. Many twins do this incarnate simultaneously in this life due to the need for extra light work in these huge transitional times on this planet. Here I'm referring to the grand constellations in 2020. I will talk more about it more and more in these programs. The 11th of the 11th is a gate where the twin flames and the soulmates had gates opening up for them to alter their level of consciousness through their relationships towards 5-dimensional. So, okay. So, when do we... Now we come to going from 3D to 5D. What is 3D? What is 5D? 3D is the reality that we know. We are in 3 dimensions. We can see and feel and touch things, and we knock upon a surface, a table. Oh, it's a firm table. We have this here and there, and you can categorize everything in boxes in our thoughts, and it's narrow. It's limited because everything here is scientific material and only what can be proven and certified by a certain number of people is validated. And it's also, when it's own, so that is okay. That is the bottom line, and it's a certain vibration as well. The 5-dimensional sphere is different. The 5-dimensional sphere is when we open up towards our higher selves. And we do no longer follow just the logical, rational path, but we receive information and we are in the flow, and we expand our mind to a level where it's no longer our own thoughts, where we connect with something bigger. This is another program for itself, where I'll go deeper into it. In this program, we will go into, as I said, what is the time frame for the 3 dimensions, and what is the time frame for the 5 dimensions? As I said, the 3D time is sequential time. We have tomorrow and we had yesterday. It's linear. And everything has to fit into these boxes. At 9 o'clock, you do this. And that is when we do that. And everything is organized. And by that, you're shutting down towards 5D. Because you're shutting out the flow. Because in synchronic time, which is 5D, you're in the flow. So you receive information of where to go next smoothly in a nice vibration where you ask for something, you pick to open up towards your higher self and where you need to go in this life. And you only do that by dedication and will and wanting this 100%, because you need to do it in all that you do. Even though we have to be in 3D time still, because the planet hasn't altered completely yet. Of course, we have our work and our different things we need to do, but we can go in and out of the 3 and 5 dimensions. Like when I pick information for my personal clients, I even upgraded so much now that I can actually see their higher selves more and more. Like they speak to me, show themselves in different ages, depending on what they want to show, and then I almost can enter their body and feel where they are and what they feel. That is 5D, because we're out of this frame where everything is solid and only one way, and only if you can experience it too and 100 other people, then it's real. Because we narrow our mind there. In synchronistic time, we choose and pick. Okay, I'm going for it. I'm going for this call that I have. I'm going down this timeline, or I'm picking this timeline. Once you do that, the universe will conspire to lead you in the right direction, but since other people might be involved, You need tolerance and patience, and then you need to not be fixated upon the will, the ego, wanting it to be at that specific time, because then you might miss the train or the signals or the signs, because they are subtle and you need to learn to know them more and more. Because in synchronistic time, then suddenly the right people turn out the right places at the right time. And miracles can happen here. It's more narrow, limited in 3D. More about that later on. I will come more and more into this, because on the planet right now, a lot is going on. As I said before, Section 3 is about when do we download and upgrade, like as light workers. Like, what are the symptoms upon when we upgrade and get new downloads? Like, for example, for your spiritual ascension level, we are upgrading quite a lot right now because of the ascension level that we need before 2020, as much as possible. Now is the time to get it. It's gonna be harder afterwards. So the people who are the forerunners and the ones, the light workers that are leading the first wave, we upgrade a lot. And then the second wave was that take also a very great load, getting more and more people to ascend. They also have this more than you think. So the signs of that you're upgrading, it could be like a loud noise, a loud tone in your ear, a ringing of your ears between your head, like suddenly, or oh no, I can't say. I don't know how to say the sound, but sometimes like a very small sound for your one ear, the other ear, and then the tone shifts. It's because the energies are working upon you, and it's a good idea to lay down and relax in this case. Over the 20 years I've had these things like loudly, I realized it's better to sit down, for example, just to relax and receive. Then it's even more effective. And you feel, or just the number 2, just like, you just suddenly wanting to lie down. Number 3, like dizziness, sometimes like for a couple of minutes, sometimes for days, maybe even. The symptoms can also be like nausea, depending on how big a download you're getting. And by the way, there's like higher realm holistics. She's very much into these things as well. So if you want to go deeper, she's a good one to follow. And then we have, she's in here on YouTube as well. Like some of the things that I get a lot, and that's been my thing, and people who knows me and have probably tried, where I see these power glimpses, and suddenly I get that, like if you, how can I describe them? Like if you have light, the whole light of a huge light, but put into one single little dot. So intense, the light. It's from another world-ish. Like these power glimpses, like suddenly. Also when I sit with clients, sometimes I see it just over their shoulder, or to the left or right of their head, or I see the power glimpse, and I see, okay, they're getting upgraded, and it's a sign of that. And also sometimes it's a sign of that we're in contact talking with the higher self, but it's often an upgrade. It can also be like the flimmering on the television screen when it's like black and white, like I don't know if they do it anymore, but just like energy moving in front of you, like when you before you sleep and you see the movement. Of course, all of these symptoms can also just be symptoms of your body being tired and other things. But you ask your higher self, is it or is it not? Like, what is it? Should I lie down? I mean, anyways, whether it's a body or it is upgrading, you should lie down when your body tells you to, if you can. I mean, it's not always possible, so. But also it depends on, that like we're upgrading the whole matrix of the level of svingningsniveauet in Danish, the frequencies in like this. The spiral we are in, energy-wise, and it can also be like in the third eye, the Kundalini rising, like or in the the third eye, between your eyes and a little up. when there's upgrades here, you can get like a headache while it's happening, and sometimes it's like you can see geometric figures like the Merkaba pyramids. You can look that up, Merkaba pyramid. I will see if I have time to make a video about that. Sign number 6, like intense tiredness can come in these phases. Like you're like, why am I even tired? And then, okay, then you know why. And then it can, like, also because we're having Uranus in the Aries, and it's Uranus is always driving different upgrades, and now it's going on our identity again for the last time, and the body a lot here in Aries. Yeah, we will feel that through that Uranus energy. He's a good upgrader from 3D to 5D. And remember, like around new moons, also we also deals with extra tiredness very often. 7, sign number 7. Sometimes when we lose words and can't find the words, and we are like in this kind of Pisces condition where God, the universe, meditational states are the importance, and you feel tired. No, you don't feel tired, but you feel like blurry in the head. So words aren't so important because you're downloading. It can also be like that you're feeling hungry, or that you feel like you're starving. So also, when we need to learn to become our own masters, and not all the time mirror ourselves only in other people or in the God, or in, if we have a master or something, we have to integrate this in ourselves. And this is also what's a part of the Scorpio energy, because you learn to master here. This is really where we learn to master, and we go from darkness into light, and we're mastering ourselves. We're mastering all the sides of ourselves, and not only just trying to blame it on other people, but you also take responsibility in this, to master the processes. So also because we are in this period, which is, and the other section that I mentioned, a very important one, where we are preparing ourselves on the communication form of the future, telepathy. That will be the future communication form. It is already now. Back to the future. We are in the future. We already use it. We're just not aware of it. We send each other thoughts all the time. We seriously do. We send each other thoughts all the time. We just don't realize it. So we just we think that it's our own thoughts or something, but often it's other people thinking about us. That's why the thoughts are so important, because we really affect others, So be aware of what you're thinking and what you're sending out, because it's energy and the vibrations are reaching others. So it's also because of that the telepathy will be the communication form. There's a need to, these openings are needed to be made to get a telepathic contact. But telepathy are like wordless words sometimes. Like when I get telepathic messages, just also from the other realms or dimensions, it's like I get into a state, a condition, and I look for words or images that are resembling with the information that I get. Like the information that I get can be very short and tense. What do you call it when it's compact? And then I have to unfold the information because it's in a small handful of a state I just get, and there's a lot of words to describe it. And this is the same with telepathy. So we are these times with Uranus here. We are breaking down, upgrading, like breakdowns, breakthroughs for all with Uranus in Aries, and it's about your identity. And of course, I repeat stuff sometimes. It's because it's very good to be reminded about things you know already. to remember to integrate it, because we are light workers here. We are here to help the earth move in the right direction. We have a purpose here. Right? So that's why you're on this channel, as I always say. Otherwise you wouldn't have not reached this minute of the show. There's a reason. We're always guided towards the right things for us. And when you have raised your energy level, because we have to work upon it, we have to wash our energy every day through meditation or cleaning. Just like we clean our bodies, we need to clear ourselves mentally and energetically to keep the open heart, because in 5D we have the open heart. And when you have raised your energy level through working upon it, through eating healthy, through choosing the right relationships for yourself, through all these choices you make to clear yourself, it's really important not to drop again, but keep it. But it takes will and dedication. So if you want to go up in 5D and others around you are stuck or keeping you down, Venus retrograde, which is the last week in retrograde, then she's moving forward, so she's still in her phase, but can help you cut the cords to these energies. And to clean on relationships, we have to clean ourselves, but not just ourselves, but also people, but also our homes and our communication, our means of communication and everything around us. And send the earth and your loved ones. You can send the earth and your loved ones like protective energies through love, also telepathically, and know that you're always protected against anything dark or low. And dark, you have to remember that darkness is ignorance and light is wisdom. So don't be so afraid of darkness if you are in the light. Only thing that can bring you down and vulnerable is if you fear it. But if you know and you ask for protection, you just ask for protection and then you create it for yourself and your family through love. But with Venus retrograde, we're releasing all these kind of things right now, and that can't go with you. They have to be released, or otherwise you can't ascend. And we have this awakening tipping point that seems to be reached now, actually. And we'll have its effect in 2020, but we are more and more than we used to be. We are more than we used to be and think that we are. And more of the youngsters have brighter minds growing up now, showing the way. Even though also the whole time is weird with all this internet and escapism and pornography and 3D substances, always wanting to look young, always wanting to, being caught in the mill, because 3D is also the rat that has to run in its wheel, because you have to look young and you have to be rich and have to be successful. That is the manipulation of the 3D realm. Then you're kept like a rat in a wheel, because then you're just striving for that and then you're forgetting everything else. You're easily controlled. Right, so it's about stopping that illusion. But if you are awakened, you are on your way to ascension. But you have to know that heavy metals, chemtrails, porn, drugs, alcohol, fear, fluorides, which are acting like heavy metal in the human body, microwaves, radio waves, sensational cravings for sensation through the news and the media, and addiction for stimulation, all keep us down and in zombie states where we don't wake up in the 3D. And what we use, we vote for. What we buy, we vote for. So if we want to raise an alter consciousness, you also have to make conscious choices. Like when I'm out in the countryside without the waves, I so clearly see, and my heart is like really open. I'm in 5D, and I communicate like almost now like my level is so raised because I did the hard work. Got a lot of help from people around me. Like for example, my partner, my beautiful partner, he shows me the way through showing me my shadow sides that I need to clear, and the more shadow sides I need to clear, the easier it gets to see clearly and to feel the intuition. That's what a conscious relationship, like twin flame soulmates or just conscious relationships are. That's when you realize that what they're telling you is true. There is something about that you are this and that, Of course, if your partner's always saying, oh, you keep nagging, or you keep meh, 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 maybe you should choose another way to say things, Instead of saying, oh, I always have a complaining partner, and then you can keep complaining about each other. But then find a sweet and nice way to say what it is that you have to say, so they say it with an open heart, so they can keep an open heart and mind when you say it. Right? But in the city, it's harder, of course, with all the waves and the lower energies sometimes to get raised. So if you can get into the countryside, sometimes being nature or being forums where people only meditate, because we create energy through what we do, the actions we do in a certain area. So if someone has always been meditating for 50 or 45 years, then of course that's the energy level there is very clear. And let your heart guide you towards places where the energy is right for you, is what I mean to say. We need to detoxify, not only mentally, but also the heavy metals in the body. And you can do that with ceolite, for example, like volcanic minerals or detox. There are so many ways. Ask me in a comment and I will help you. And I also had some people telling me like, "Whoa, what's going on with the with me?" Suddenly, really hearing my ancestors, talking with them, feeling them in my body, opening up, so that the level of communication was like scary in a way, because how to handle this. How to handle all of that? Well, it's again a part of the ascension process. I promised to say something about this, and the two people who asked about it know who they are. And of course, you have to know that what I've just been talking about now is this ascension from 3D to 5D. Is these walls breaking down? It's very natural. Because the time is not linear in 5D, so you can travel in time. That's why a dead parent or others can get in contact with you. It's not that wild. It's just wild because we closed down towards it and made horror movies about it. It's beautiful. I have my mom close by often. Not only my mom, I'm like even my partner's mom. I can, yeah. So. Well, okay, so the Venus retrograde ends and we have a new direction. So a new vision upon how to handle relationships now. And by the way, I want to thank you guys for the support from my hospital, also from the Spanish viewers, because there were so many kind people who asked, oh, how did it go? We want to pray for you. And I just want to say I had the most amazing operation in my knee. The whole hospital... Well, also due to my partner, myself and my father. My partner sat in Tokyo, my father was with me, and we just opened up the channel and asked for the grace of the master, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to float through us. And so many people blessed and wished me luck, and that the whole hospital was charged with love and positive energy. So everyone I met, it was like just such a joyful experience to be at the hospital. No fear at all, and people coming in and out. Also after my retreat, people came in and out of my life, like giving me like as if I was just being used to give answers to people without even knowing that. Bam, another one coming in, and it was like that at the hospital as well. Like the other patients around me, or what is it called, hospitalized people. They also seem to have a purpose of being able to give me something, also just love and appreciation, and me giving them something back. So it was just like so beautiful, actually. So you can have a beautiful experience if you code yourself and program the situation and your heart to be open in a certain way. But also thanks to the one that helped me like that. But again, next section, and I will be done within 5 minutes. You are the creator and the co-creator of your life. So whatever is there is created by you, and thereby your responsibility to fix. So victim roles won't serve you. It's self-created. Your intuition, higher self, heart, guides, and probably also your body told you many times not to do certain things, yet you end up doing them subconsciously or even conscious, these conscious patterns. But these are times to choose. What do you want? And know that your choice has a sub-choice that follows along. If you choose to want to work and earn a lot of money and work 80 hours a week, yeah, well, you're not going to have that romantic partner life, and you will not have that much time with your children. So your choices have causes and effect. And when self-created issues are there, only you can change it and help yourself. And this is because of the chosen lifestyle, life route or routine you have. You've chosen to have this job, partner, focus, hobby, escapism, etc. So now you have to, of course, pay the price of what you chose. But there is, as always, a second chance, no matter how old you are, unless you're focused upon, you can only change your life when you're 25. Yes, but we can change our ways, we can change the glasses we wear and our perspective. Well, so the illusion is down, so it's a job for us light workers now to take down the curtains. And the people in power and the darker forces need us to stay in the illusions, but what can we do as light workers to help this transition? Stand in your truth is the most important thing. A lighthouse stands alone and just turns. So we are often placed as light workers in places of darkness, which is why we can feel lonely sometimes. And now with Mars in Pisces, which is also like hospitals and mental institutions and meditative states in churches, and you being alone with yourself, prisons even, when Mars is in Pisces, we tend to feel less motivated to go after traditional goals, and we are more motivated to pursue spiritual or emotional drives during this cycle. And we dislike confrontation during this period. So our output is very variable rather than more straightforward, and our energy is similarly up and down, because Pisces are this way, that way, etc. But we may put others' needs ahead of our own, because normally Mars is selfish. And here our more idealistic sides come to the forefront. So during the cycle, going after what we want becomes less straightforward and more complicated. And as I said also in the report, escapism at high levels are coming in, but not to make this too long. I mean, if you feel lost and you're working with yourself on heavy stuff emotionally, then choices that means that you're staying alone for a while means that you actually are doing your light work, and that will eventually lead you to where you want to go, to love. Because this is self-love, and you create this love and attract it. Always work upon that self-love first. And you do that by following your call, your purpose, and we don't want to miss this train or get late to the train, your train. It's now, the time is now. Then you will feel lost. So take responsibility now and charge over your ego to take the charge. Use it for what you came here for now. So once in a lifetime opportunity to help moving forward in each our way. And we spread the light through information, through standing in our truths. And it's the last time in our lives we have these big heavy boys where we have them here in their home signs. So, But learn to understand your desires and your will, and how you operate is a really important part of these things in Sagittarius, where we also have even the star in Taurus, a huge one, and we have things, of course, here that we want and we have desires to get, but we have to use it for something sensible, something that's in concordance, or what you call it, in tune with our call. And it's also, of course, a special time because there aren't any middle ground. It's a really, really clear choice between light or darkness, right? So you can choose the highest degree ever of awareness, the ultimate degree. But do you want to do it? You have to change your ways in all that you do every day. And in meditation we go from 3D to 5D. D is to say that we are shifting from thinking into feeling, and from the mind and its complexities and impurities to the heart with one simple message. Like, do you want it complex or simple? Do you want it wise or ignorant? That's the question. So let's go to the meditation now. I will make not a meditation first. I will just go into this where I was, the energy where I was when I was in the silent retreat, the gift that I got, the upgrade that I got. I will put in that video. It's 7 minutes long, and I feel so much transmission going through me in this energy, in this video, that so many people have told me that they can now sleep after they hear it. People who had trouble sleeping, and they can now meditate. People who had trouble with their thoughts. So try to use this meditation. I will also make a link so that I'll try to make a video, upload a video so that you can always hear it at night before going to sleep or before meditating if you want to. But for now, it's by following the link. You can go directly to it if you ever enter this video, or you can just hear it now because it's coming now. And after this relaxation part where we just go into the body, we will then meditate. If you want to get out of your head and into your heart, start getting into your body. Start relaxing your body. Then it's easier for you to meditate. So in Heartfulness, we start with a relaxation, where we relax our whole body, 5 minutes, and then we're ready to just go into the heart and focus upon the light. Or whatever it's not necessarily that you need to say that to yourself, but that's a longer story. If you're able to disconnect, and you can do so. But let's just start, if you want to just close your eyes. Breathe. Feel your breath. Feel your feet on the ground if you're sitting down. Notice the room you're sitting in. Start slowly to direct your attention inwardly to you. Just gently ask your higher self, or you ask yourself, to give yourself the time now to let go of every thought and just get into your body and expect that this happens. Should any thought come in, you just treat it like an unwanted visit. You notice it, and then you just kindly ask it to leave. Feel your feet. Just notice sensation in your feet. Put your attention to your feet. Then take your attention to your ankles. Slowly move your attention up through the lower part of your leg. Feel the muscles relax. Go up to your knees. Feel any tension there, and kindly expect them to relax. Move your attention to your thighs. Feel how nice it is for you to be there with your focus and your intention, making your thighs relax. Move your attention to the lower part of your torso, to your behind, to the stomach. Relax your stomach. Move it to your chest area. Feel how your chest relaxes. Now we're at the shoulders. Feel how they sink and drop. Feel your back from the lower part of your back. You slowly move your attention up. Just feel it. Feel your spine, the center of your spine, or just the spine. From the buttocks and all the way up. Slowly up through the spine until you reach the neck. You relax your neck. The back side of your neck. Then you feel from your shoulders how your arms start to relax from the upper part of your arms and all the way down the lower part of your arms, your wrists, your hands and your fingers. Relax. You feel your face. Release any tension around your eyes, your nose, your mouth. And you let your jaw drop. Feel tension in your lips. You let it go around your ears, forehead. Feel the whole head now, the top of the head. The whole head. Relax. Try to see now if you can put your attention on your whole body at the same time. Just be in your body. Now would be the time where I would meditate upon the heart. You can now sit back in a position that you can sit in for 30 to 45 minutes. Here you can now ask your consciousness to go into the heart and be in the light. And then sit here and ask yourself the permission to stay in the state where it's just you now and your open heart, nothing else. That any thought that has to pass you in your consciousness is moved out and being guided out as if it was an unexpected guest you peacefully and quietly are asking to leave. You can also write to me at the email address if you find in the text below, and I will find you a free heartfulness meditation instructor in your area. You can now shut down for your computer and let the peace and silence, the peace of silence, take on your body, mind, and soul.
There is this angel saying, I'm gonna find my way back home. The secret is love, he said. You've got to lift yourself up, try again. One day you will break through. What you long for will find you. Through all the hard times, I always seem to find the light in your eyes. We fall through.
Don't follow trends, follow your heart.